Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us on CBS 19 Plus, as well as YouTube and Facebook. I'm CBS 19 Meteorologist Joel Robinson here with a morning weather update. Today has been declared a weather impact alert day by the CBS 19 weather experts. We are dealing with some very dangerous heat across the area. We do have extreme heat warnings in effect for parts of the area. We'll break that down right now. Let's take you on over to the weather wall here. Again, we're watching dangerous heat through today. It's going to go until 8 p.m. The main impact here is going to be heat illnesses, but it's definitely not limited to that. It's definitely going to be some dehydration if you are not careful enough. So make sure you are staying hydrated, limit that outdoor activity, and make sure you find some air conditioning. This is a very dangerous day here across the area. It's definitely not your typical summer heat. We are definitely above average for today. The average this time of year is around 95. We look to be a few degrees above that, around 100-degree air temperatures by themselves. So already pretty hot as we head into this afternoon. And you add the humidity, it's going to be feeling like at least 110, especially with those extreme heat warnings in effect for some of our northeastern locations. So that again goes until 8 p.m. Most of the area is under a heat advisory. That's going to go until 8 p.m. this evening. That's going to be for, feels like temperatures at least 105 to 110 and then 110 plus for those extreme heat warnings. No matter how you slice it, it's going to be a very hot day all across the area. Here's a look at today's highs. Again, today's highs by themselves are already hot. We're in the upper 90s, triple digits across much of the area here, and especially the case in our northeastern counties. Likely will exceed that by maybe a degree or two, and that's why we do have that extreme heat warning in effect for some of those areas. But all of the areas getting in on some very hot temperatures, not quite record temperatures, but still enough to cause some issues across the area. Let's take a look at feels like temperatures as we move our way into this afternoon. Highest feels like temperatures are going to be more to our north and east, although we can't rule out maybe a couple of minor moments that we could potentially get up to about 110, maybe a little bit above that, but it has to be at least 110 or above for at least 3 hours. That's where those extreme heat warnings come in. So you might see some higher numbers than 110 in areas without the heat advisory. It has to reach that for at least 3 hours in order to get an extreme heat warning. So meanwhile, most of us are at least 105 to 110, maybe even a little bit above that very briefly. That's why we have heat advisories across the rest of the area, but it's going to be hot all across the area. That is for sure. Now on top of that, we're dealing with a very minor chance for rain this afternoon, only about a 20% chance. That basically means that rain is going to be a possibility, but it is not a guarantee for today. The better chance of rain comes in on Wednesday. You got a 40% chance there. That's when a cold front will be moving into the area, and then 30% as we go into Thursday, and then down to 20 we go on Friday, and then this weekend looks to be dry and seasonably warm, or should I say seasonably hot. We'll still be in the middle 90s by that time, but the main thing that we're watching for, of course, is today's heat. And then we got that cold front coming in as we go into Wednesday and Thursday. That'll elevate our rain chances a little bit. Let's check it out on our future skycast, kind of zoomed out a little bit here. We got that cold front coming in. Here's that Thursday time frame. We have a wave of rain that will be coming in. We'll take a closer look at the area in just a second, but I just wanted to show that cold front coming in. It's coming in from the north. You can see the winds are shifting from the north by the time we get to Thursday, so it's a much cooler air coming in. And again, that's going to be around the Wednesday and Thursday time frame. The rain that we're going to see ahead of the front is mainly going to be something that we'll see on Wednesday. And then after the front comes through, by the time we get to Thursday, maybe some spotty rain chances here and there, but I think most of us will be nice and dry and much cooler. We're talking about temperatures in the low to mid 90s, so definitely a relief compared to today. Here's a look at future skycast as we move forward here. So again, as we go into today, rain shouldn't be an issue. It's the heat that's going to be an issue. We're not free from any issues, unfortunately, as we go into today. But here comes the rain. Here's Wednesday morning. Here's that first wave of rain. We're looking at maybe a couple rounds of rain. We got one in the morning. That's ahead of the cold front. and then we have another round possible as we go into the early afternoon hours of Wednesday as well. And I think it'll really start to materialize as it moves a little bit closer to Deep East Texas. And then I wouldn't be too surprised, it doesn't really model it on this model, but I wouldn't be too surprised if we see yet another round as we go into the afternoon, as we start to introduce some sunshine, maybe some spotty showers after that, and thunderstorms as well. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see an additional round of rain during the afternoon. But either way, I think Wednesday, I mean, all of us are going to be getting in on that chance of rain. I think all day would be a good idea to have that umbrella around. And then we get to Thursday. I would keep that umbrella around for Thursday as well. Can't rule out maybe a couple of showers. I think the best chance of rain is going to be more towards Deep East Texas and further to the south, because that cold front's already going to be just to the south. So we're going to be on the other side of the cold front. So we're not going to be seeing too much in the way of rainfall, but I certainly do think it could be a little bit of a possibility. And then we're free from any rain chances altogether as we go into this weekend and maybe even into parts of Friday as well. So we'll be drying out after we get this round of rain out of the way. All right, here's an update now on Hurricane Erin, all the way down to a Category 2. It has weakened quite a bit. We do have some tropical storm watches in effect. Looks like it's right off the coast of Virginia there. We did have some off the coast of North Carolina. I don't know if it's actually there anymore. It looks like they may have taken it away, possibly. I'll look more into that in just a little bit. But it looks like it's going to maintain Category 2 and swing its way to the north and east, away from the U.S. So that's some good news there. There was some tropical storm watches in effect for the possibility of some winds as well. That I think some of the outer bands had that possibility of potentially clipping the U.S., but it looks like it is forecast to move away. I do think maybe some of the outer bands could still clip the East Coast, but it looks like it will eventually move away and start to weaken even further. So that's some good news on Erin. Now, as we look at our next round of energy here, it's right over the central Atlantic at this point. This is something we were kind of watching for yesterday. Yesterday it had a 50% chance of development. Now it has a 60% chance of development, over the next 7 days, and a 10% over the next 2 days. So that's one area of energy that we're going to have to watch for. Here is a second round of energy that we could have to watch for. Only a 30% chance of development within the next 2 days and the next 7 days, but still a convective area nonetheless that we're definitely going to have to keep an eye on. And it looks like another area of convection could be trying to form over Western Africa. So these are things that we are going to really have to watch for, and we will certainly keep you updated as we go forward here. Now, bringing it closer to home here tonight, looking at temperatures in the low to mid 70s, right around average for this time of year, maybe a little bit above. Mainly clear overhead, and those winds are going to be still, and it's definitely going to be sticky as you walk out the door for tomorrow. So again, weather impact alert for today. I don't think we'll get one for tomorrow, especially with those rain chances coming in. But today's going to be likely the hottest day in our forecast at around 100 degrees. Extreme heat warnings in effect once again for some of our northeastern counties. We'll take a look at that one more time in just a second. But weather impact alert day for today, not for tomorrow. Rain comes in for tomorrow into parts of Thursday, and then we likely dry out altogether once we get to Friday. I have Friday as a possibility for rain just out of the heat of the day, but I do think we will likely be dry altogether. And then Saturday and Sunday this weekend really looks to be in good shape, around 95 to 96 degrees with mostly sunny skies. So we'll have plenty of sunshine. If you have any Saturday, Sunday weekend plans, definitely a good weekend to get outside. I think it's going to be really nice this weekend, and then even into parts of Monday. We do have another cold front that we're watching for as well. We're not looking at any sort of rain chance per se going into the weekend as that second cold front comes through. I think we're mainly just looking at maybe some cloud cover, but we do look to be dry going into this weekend, so that's some good news. But in the meantime, folks, make sure you are staying hydrated, make sure you are finding some air conditioning, and limit that outdoor time. Of course, we will see a little bit of relief from this heat, but it's still going to be very hot. Going to be in the low to mid 90s. That's still hot. That still can cause some issues if you were not careful. So as always, just make sure you are taking precaution. All right, let's take one more look at your heat alerts here before we head out here. Again, we're watching extreme heat warnings and heat advisories. What's the difference? So heat advisories, once again, is for a maximum heat index expected to be 105 degrees or higher for at least 3 hours. So that's going to be most of us. Those of us in our northeastern counties in that extreme heat warning, maximum heat index 110 degrees or higher for 3 or more hours. Now, that isn't to say, of course, that some of us outside that extreme heat warning will not see at least 110 degree feels like temperatures. It just will not last for 3 hours like some of our northeastern counties. So still going to be feeling very hot, at least 110 in some locations, but especially the case as we head into our northeastern counties. And again, that'll go until 8 p.m. Once things cool off, should be in pretty good shape for the overnight, and tomorrow should be a little bit cooler thanks to those rain chances. All right, so that is what we are tracking, folks. Make sure you are staying safe, stay hydrated. We're going to have some more information for you on the noon show, so hope to see you there. And for now, we're going to go ahead and sign off. But again, join us for the noon show for more forecast information.